You are appreciating the contrast that brings that clarity into clarity. So when contrast helps you to know what you don't want, and therefore helps you to know what you do want, that new desire pulses in a strong way, doesn't it? And Source hears your request, shines a spotlight of attention upon it now. Law of attraction goes to work, because that's how the expanding universe works. You ask, and Source tends to what you are asking for through attention. And through that attention that you first conjured through contrast, and now the attention that the fuller part of you gives, your desire, which was newly hatched, is now underway. Yes? But where are you in relationship to the newly hatched desire? That's really what we're asking. When we say, are you enjoying the contrast? That's really the question that we're asking. Is the contrast, which is giving birth to the new desire, which is causing an expansion, not just of your world, but of the universe, is that contrast appreciated by you? Do you understand the value of the new desire? Because if you do, then even though the manifestation has not yet appeared, even though you're not yet spending it or sleeping with it or driving it, your desire has been registered in the timeless halls of creation and is in progress. So the question that we're asking is, what's your mood or attitude during that in progress state? Before it is actually manifested, where you can see it and smell it and hear it and taste it and touch it. What's your attitude about this creation that is in the becoming? If your attitude is one of confidence, if your attitude is one of expectation of happy experience, if your attitude is one of appreciation for the process in general, if your attitude is one of anticipation and eagerness and friskiness, then there is very little time gap between the contrasting experience which caused you to ask and the full receiving of what you're asking for. And if that is the way you are proceeding in life, with an attitude of appreciation and joy and happy expectation and optimism, then you are moving through life in this sort of seamless flow where you ask and you receive and you ask and you receive, and with each receiving comes a new platform from which to ask. But if you are irritated in the interim, if you are disappointed in it not yet being there, if your expectation is one of slowness or of it not coming at all, then in that negative mood or attitude that you have sometimes learned to generate over long periods of time, you hold yourself as, hear this, the only uncooperative component in this scenario of creation. In other words, you created it, and Source is tending to it, and there is a law of attraction response to all of that, which is creating a vortex of attraction where all cooperative components have been assembled. The art of allowing gathering that we are participating in together here today asks the question, and we'll answer it. We want you to hear it. Where are you? Are you a cooperative component or an uncooperative component? And if you're wondering how you know, if you're ornery, you're not cooperating. If you're pessimistic, you're not a cooperative component. If you're doubtful, blameful, angry, frustrated, if you are overwhelmed, if you are ornery, cranky, obstinate, irritated, you are not a cooperative component. You are an uncooperative component. That's why you feel ornery. If you feel frisky, if you feel elated, if you feel interested, if you feel pleased, if you feel satisfaction, if you feel appreciation, if you feel interest, appreciation, love, joy, all that stuff. Those good feeling emotions mean you're a cooperative component. And the degree to which you feel good and the consistency with which you feel it indicates your degree of cooperation. There are so many people who cooperate in the first step of the 3-step process. They sift through the contrast, we love you very much, because you can't help it. In other words, many of you, if you had a choice, you wouldn't sift through the contrast. You'd say, now I'm here, clean it all up so I can just observe good things. And many think that that's what a happy life is. Let's join the right group or move to the right place on the planet or surround ourselves with enough of the right people that we only see what we're wanting to see. And we say, you're not ever going to be able to secret yourself away from the variety that surrounds you, nor would you want to. There's such a big reason for this contrast. It is the basis of the step 1 asking that is so important to the equation of creation. Ask is step 1. Step 2 is this swirling vortex that we were talking about. Step 2 is source now giving undivided attention to what you have asked for and causing law of attraction to respond to this leading edge new request, taking thought and experience beyond that which it has been before. In other words, the eternalness is dependent upon your willingness to explore contrast. But the eternalness is not dependent upon you being a cooperative component. You've amassed everything necessary for this motion forward. The question is, are you part of it? So this Art of Allowing workshop addresses that step 3. Step 1, you ask. Step 2, source answers. Step 3, you've got to be cooperative. You've got to find somehow, some way to get yourself into that vortex where the cooperative components are being assembled. And if you're saying, I don't see any cooperative components, you're not in the vortex where they all are. If you say, it's taking too long, you're not in the vortex. If you say, things don't work out for me, you're not in the vortex. If you say, where's my stuff? Where's my stuff? Where is my stuff? If this law of attraction is real and source is tending to it, then where's my stuff? It's in the vortex. It's in there vibrationally, preparing itself for full manifestation, but it cannot manifest into full view in your experience until you tune into the frequency of what it is. So you have to imagine the success that you seek and train the vibration of your being into vibrational alliance with the success that you seek before you can be the interpreter of the manifestation. Do you get what we just said? This is a vibrational universe, and everything in this universe, whether it is physically focused as you are or non-physically focused as we are, everything is vibrational, which means it's like radio frequencies. And law of attraction says those radio frequencies, not really radio frequencies, far more sophisticated than radio frequencies, but these frequencies that are like radio frequencies in the sense that they are vibrational and have transmitters and receivers have to match up. You can't set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m. and hear what's being broadcast on 98 FM. In other words, the frequencies have to match up. So when you've got your frequency set on, I don't see it. Where is it? It's taking too long. It's not fair. Other people are getting it. Where's mine? If you've got your frequency set there and over here in vibrational escrow is all that you've ever been asking for, you're out of sync with what you're asking for. You got to go over there to that vibration. And many say, I'd like to go. Where's the door? Where is the door to the vortex? Point me in the direction and shove me in. And we say, there is no motivation that can get you there. It is only by vibrational invitation that you are allowed in. You have to, while you're outside the vortex, find some way of focusing your frequency into the same thing that's inside the vortex, and the vortex will bring you in just like it brought in all other cooperative components. Do you know? So let's say you want a lover, and let's say you looked around the planet and you found the lover you want. And you walked up to this lover and you said, you're the lover I've chosen for myself. And that person says, I am choosing otherwise. And you say, So you're not going to be a cooperative component, huh? Meanwhile, law of attraction and your vortex are over here swirling with all of the components that you've put there. When someone was rude to you, you asked for nicer. When they didn't know what they were doing, you asked for more competence. When they were sloppy in their behavior, you asked for more tidiness. In other words, through the sifting of your life, you ask for the specifics, and your perfect mate is swirling vibrationally in this vortex. But you've walked up to someone and demanded that they be the cooperative component, while all along, without your even knowing it, the most cooperative of component, the people or person who has fulfilled every requirement, small and large, that your life has helped you to sort out, has already been assembled and is in your vibrational vortex, waiting for your willingness to achieve vibrational alignment with it, so that you can then see your partner. But you've decided not to be a cooperative component because you're focused upon that not cooperative one and that one and that one. You're saying, I can't find my lover. All the good ones are gone. I found one once that thought it was a good one, but turned out really not to be a good one. Without realizing it, you have developed patterns of thoughts you keep thinking, that's what a belief is, that hold you outside of cooperation with the very things that you are asking for. Now, the reason that we're talking to you in the way that we are is because we have the benefit of being able to see what has assembled in your vibrational escrow, in your vortex. We see what's there. And we have to say to you that everything that we say to you is for one singular reason. We want to help you to soften the resistance that keeps you out of the vortex. In other words, if you just stop doing that thing you do that makes you uncooperative, you'd go right in. It's that thing you do that holds you out. If you just stop doing that, some of you say, well, maybe I could just sleep long enough. When you wake up, you've got an active vibration. And your active vibration is probably, if you're like most normal people who have not yet had a lobotomy, your active vibration right now is going to be pretty much like the active vibration you offered yesterday and the day before and the day before and the day before, because without meaning to, you've trained yourself into uncooperative thoughts. Uncooperative thoughts. You say, there's not enough money to go around. The economy is slow. Things are hard for everyone. These are uncooperative thoughts. These thoughts do not mesh with what you've put in your escrow. You say, the government didn't do a good job. This government's not doing a much better job. These are uncooperative thoughts that are preventing you from going in the vortex. You say, I'm worried about the planet. I'm worried about my children. I'm worried about my body. I don't like my body. I don't like this about you, and I don't like this about you, and I don't like this about you, and I don't like this about you. And I'll bet you that if I got a forum together and we all evaluated you, we would all agree that we don't like this about you, we don't like this about you. And we say, of course, you're probably right, but you're still not cooperating with what you're asking for. It's such an interesting thing. The more people bug you, the more you are annoyed by them, the more you ask for something very different than they are, and you put it in your vortex. And the universe, who is always assembling all of the most wanted, most asked for, pure positive energy, particles of life experience, just keeps collecting and collecting and collecting and collecting the improved life experience that you've been asking for, even if you are a one-celled organism. This is what the evolution of all species is about. So here is this vortex of creation assembled, amassing, and cooperating. And where are you? I'm ornery, but with really good reason, Abraham. Let me tell you the story of why I'm ornery. And we say, practicing that story of what's gone wrong causes a chronic emission of a vibration that makes you uncooperative.